I'm going to speak. So after the introduction by Thomas, and I will try to, dress like him. Unfortunately, I don't have the gut to really to say, I would do the plastic surgery to do more hair and making a beautiful face like him. I don't have the gut, but at least I can try to dress like him. And when we talk, just passing on to the topic, we're just mentioning about the the sustainability in different languages. So in Chinese, sustainability, we can use a long word, 可持续发展. It's exactly the same with sustainability. But in the older, Chinese saying, it's called 长青. It has nothing to do with sustainability, but it has a better metaphor than 可持续发展. It is they are always green, 长青, meaning always green. So is it true that sustainability is always green? It has to depend on the logo, of the color of our logos. We can be always red, always something, but always green, that really means a plant that never die out. It was keep growing and growing. And I think in the last couple of days, and since yesterday, I found the commonality, more commonality we share in the room rather than in some of the meeting. We fight a lot and we disagree to agree, or maybe agree to disagree on some of the topics. This is something I feel totally amazing. And I just want to thank Aesthetics to have me down here. I'm totally thrilled and exciting to be here. It's my first time to Aesthetics, but what I'm going to say, I will come next year. I hope all of you would do. And thank you. And the initial topic I was given to do the talk here is working in China. So today is a very important day in United States. So our president will meet, our President Xi will meet with the President Trump to talk about stuff. I'm not sure what kind of stuff they talk about. And I don't want to get distracted, like working in China, and to link with. I'm not going to drag you guys out of their space and to really linger on the conversation between these two lovely chaps. And I don't want to get distracted by myself. But when it comes down to connect with Trump and China, I'm not sure how many of you guys watch the compilation on internet. It's called China, that kind of a Trump. Because when he mentioned China, he used a different pronunciation. China. Just go watching it, because he kept saying China for like 200 times. That's the whole compilation is, with some hip hop music as a background, which is cool. I don't want to get distracted by that as well, and so I changed my topic into like from data to stories. Maybe we are different from what you think. So the we, to define we here, is our workers in China. So let's some old friends, some new friends down here, and I want to spend 30 or 45 seconds to talk about our own organization. I'm the founder and the director of this organization for 10 years, and we are the we are the grievance channel to listen to get the calls, to get the complaints, whatever you wanted, from the factory floor to in our hotline center. We will work together with the workers to get their rights asserted, to listen to their stories, stuff like that. For example, the worker will ask, if I wanted to raise a cat, black or white, because I'm a Cancer. I'm a Cancer, and so do you think a black cat will fit my, my fate in the near future? It can help me to boost my fate, forever. And if I wanted, some of them will ask, if I want to take a train from this city to another, can you tell me the way? How I can get the train from this city to another? And some of the workers will say, I really want to kill myself. So actually, I'm not sure how much you guys are familiar with the the suicide event that happened in 2011 and 2012 in Foxconn. 18 people jumped off the roof just because feeling totally lonely and depressed. And actually, in our hotline, there were 24 suicides. Yeah, I smile when I talk about suicide. That makes me totally relieved a little bit. And there were 24 people committed suicide during that time. So back then, it's just like a virus, and it's pretty depressing. Every day when the phone rings, when we pick up the phone, the last thing we really want to hear from hear the voice over the phone is that somebody just jumped off the roof in our factory. It's not Foxconn, it's some other factories. And so we became a multi-project organization in 2009, and we expanded ourselves a little bit from the grievance channel by taking a course from the factory floor to we work with the brands and factory on left behind children issues, hepatitis drop discrimination issue as well. So we worked with 61 brands, and we installed a hotline in 710 factories. Over the years, there are 17,000 cases generated through our hotline. And so when you talk about labor disputes, which is you guys don't really want that, get the report from your factory floor. But still, we're getting like 10% of cases that is linked to the labor disputes. So SEDEX is one of the greatest platforms on providing data for our work. So I'm going to link a little bit data to show you guys who the workers are really bound on. They're working there, every day to making products for our brands. So we have a survey, done together with Sun Yat-sen University. So they did their own bit. We've done our own bit to matching up together to understand, the comparison between, the general workers and the supply chain workers. So we got the data. I will pretty, skip a little bit, on the slides. If you want to know what's all about, deep down inside the data, I'm happy to share with you. So when you talk about the age structure, and still, our workers are pretty young. Our workers are pretty young because we still have like a 10% of the people that is above 40. But comparing to the general number, general demographic allocation in our labor force, we have a 45%. More than 45% in our workforce who are more than 40 years old. Our country is growing old. So education background, we can see maybe some of a lot of you guys been thinking about, the workers, factory floor, they don't have a choice because so many of them couldn't get a proper education. But honestly, there are like 85% of them joined the junior high school at graduation and graduated from a technical secondary school, which is amazing. There are 15% of them are basically technician. And when we talk about salary, the average annual salary, this is the data in 2015, and our workers are earning 2,000 more RMB than the general workers all over China. But the increment in 2015 is around like 5% comparing to the general number, in our country. When we talk about overtime, it's pretty interesting. So, general in the fact of the general labor force in our own country, to help the employer to have a better future, to earn more money, is the overtime motivation for most of the employees in our own country. But there's nothing on in our own supply chain, because still capitalist versus workers, that type of feeling still there. Nobody really want to say, I really want to help boss to earn more money by, working 48 hours non-stop in our factory line. 5 times, there would be the time, there would be the frequency of changing jobs within 3 years for the supply chain workers. Choices for action. Still, because these data are all from our own factory, 710 factory. Most of our workers will still, 50% of them will directly communicate with the factory managers. And then, without getting down into the issue resolved, it comes to our own, handshake workers hotline. It's pretty dodgy down here with the figure down here, but you can see it's a dramatic, change, a dramatic increment in the emotional, desire to really want to talk to us. So, meaning that in our hotline, more and more workers are willing to talk to us on the basis of friend-to-friend issues. So most of them are, I'm feeling lonely, I want to have a boyfriend and a girlfriend, or maybe a boyfriend and a girlfriend at the same time. I'm not sure if this is getting you guys totally bored, but I'm going to share some stories totally quick. So yeah, Social Security. I'm sure most of the brands and suppliers have done a lot on Social Security. But when it comes down to something that in our workers' heart, what it really represents, is it right? But honestly, Social Security really links to the future, to my child, because everybody who wants to foster their kids within the same city they work in the factory, they have to really pay for enough of the amount of time of the Social Security. So that is the cause and the trigger point of the YY factory, Yuyuan factory in Dongguan in China, that is the longest and the largest scale strike in China's history. So we are behind the whole issue, trying to stop that, but unfortunately we can't, because the brand and the factory have their own issues not to come out to resolve the problem. So Social Security really means that it's not just about right, it's about the future and the benefit of my child, or maybe children. So marriage, whoever come up with the idea, so these young workers are really thinking about the marriage. Maybe sometimes we're confused with the Indian story, the China story. There are many forced marriages down there. But guess what? Just this year, right after the Chinese New Year, there are 14 cases. That is about the female workers wanted to divorce with her husband, become a solely independent females, which is amazing. That kind of a feminist, inspiring idea can still be found in our workers' crowd. Yeah, I'll skip that. So this is us in China's factory. It's a very complicated scenario. It's our workers had a much more subtle assertion. But believe it or not, in terms of the labor law awareness, the rights awareness, human rights awareness, the blue-collar workers in our supply chain have performed so much better than the white-collar who earn probably 10 times more salary than them in the high stories, in the skyscrapers. And something more than audits and training, and they are looking up for to really get their life better. So what I'm going to say here is that we talk about the solution. We have a lot of conversation that is linked to the guiding principle and the Modern Slavery Act. But I don't think that is all we have to sit on in the same room to talk about what we can do together. We are driven by goals, not pressure. So just take a look into the SDG goals. There are so many of them we can work together with the business, with the government together, because the second tier has been put on the table as one of the most important players to achieve all these goals in before 2030. And So when we come down to some of the solutions, this is the case study that is done together with one of the brands down here, and it's totally connects to the SDG. I think it's number 4 and number 7. I'm not sure which one of them, you can come up, but it fits all the framework. So what we're going to do is to link the children left behind in the village with their parents in the factory. But because left behind children, just search online, there are 61 million left behind children in China who could only have meet with their parents once in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, sometimes 5 years. So that creates a lot of social problem as well. So and the factory owner wouldn't really wanted to work together with these workers together to make sure their life and their children's right can be asserted in the right way. So we use hotline to link both communities together, and we have 3 phases to try to understand what we can do to achieve these goals. So we'll do the project, we will set up the Center of Excellence. Last but not least, we will talk to the policymaker to engage with them, to try to increase their awareness of the left behind children, to make sure any workplace can to give like 5 minutes to 10 minutes a week in their working time to talk to their kids, over some sort of guidance. And now we're in stage 2. It's the 2017 is the year that we need to stop for a while to reflect what have been going through and what we need to alter in the near future. But believe it or not, 3 factories came to us saying, I know this year you're resting, but we don't want to go rest ourselves in working together with our workers and their children. And we will pay you to do exactly the same thing for our newer workers. If you wanted to understand more about this case, please go ask George from Kingfisher. And some voices. And yes, workplace it's pretty boring because we have to come repeating your gesture, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 times a day. But our workers are fun. I can let you know how come they're so fun. And yes, our workers, comparatively, they have a lower education, but I think they love to make a change. Yes, workers they love to take actions in the factory floor to fight against this, fight against that. But they are, after all, they are no troublemakers. They are just like, they also like the teenagers, even though with the right direction, sometimes they went into trouble. And we, before coming to CEDEX here, and we asked, over the social network, we asked the workers, what do you want to change in your life or work? And what do you want to tell the brands? Well, brands. Nobody can come up with the idea, wow, they know brands? Yes, all of them know about brands. And this is some of the answers. So I will be quick to try to say something, to translate a little bit. So the orchid with deep love, she said, I wanted to make decision of my OT time. We don't have time to have a leisure, and Sunday and Saturday we have to work. So I don't know what it is. So this is his name in social network. I don't know what it is. That I wanted to get my children to come together with me in the same city to live with me together. I rather earn less to make both of us to live together. And please help me to tell the factory that I really want to do that. And the third one would be like, I was awake, but my soul was gone. So this is her, social network's name. I really hope that the peace rate could be increased, but it's pretty difficult. And the people like me who earn on the peace rate couldn't really get the pay leave, as entitled as the other workers. And the fourth one said, so her name is Warm Lips. So Warm Lips said, I really wish the management can listen to the workers working in the bottom line. and understand you, she said, I just wanted to tell the brand, by having such a high demand on your product, can you raise our salary at the same time into that high level? Yeah, that's what she said. And yeah, after all, I think we're all change makers. You guys been doing, great job in the last 25 years. You make huge changes. Some of them are voluntary, some of them involuntary, chased by pressure group, I know. And but our workers are not babies sitting in the room waiting to be fed. And they are also like change makers, like you guys. You make huge changes in the supply chain. But what I really want to say is, if we want to make change in the near future, take a little bit to understand what is going on in the factory floor and to put workers into the loop of change maker together, not just beneficiaries, alone. And I'm happy to share more with you, but maybe next year. Last but not least, I would love to share a video for only 1 minute. Is that okay? So 1 minute. It's a video recorded by our workers to tell their story to you guys.
最想改变的是，工厂能切实按照国家劳动法实施，让员工能享受到婚假、产假、年休假、法定假日等表行假各种应该得到的福利。
说的是多给一些员工一些时间陪一下家人孩子。
最想跟品牌说的是，每次品牌来工厂之前都有培训，应该加。
多想对品牌说的是，多听一下员工。
Thank you all.